Hey everyone, we're back again for another Malts and Meeples. I am Petter. I run this channel as well as running the nerdologist.com website. If you enjoy our content here, please consider checking out the website. So today's game, we are continuing with Pandemic Legacy Season 1. So Pandemic Legacy is based off the game Pandemic from Z-Man Games, and you're probably all familiar with this intro at this point if you've watched thus far. But it is a game where you're trying to cure a whole bunch of diseases on the board. However, in the Legacy version of the game, there are rules that change. There are stickers such as these that we place on the board that change how the game works, as well as there are cards that we destroy, and we're able to upgrade characters. We have different multiple objectives to complete, a lot of things like that. So, if you are enjoying the channel, not enjoying the panel, if you're enjoying the channel, please consider giving us a subscribe, clicking a thumbs up on this video. Both of those things will help more people find our videos and hopefully help grow the channel and get us even more ideas for content. So let's talk about today's beer. Today's beer is from OddSide, based out of Michigan. It is a raspberry blood orange fruitsicle. I do not know much of anything about this beer or what it is like. And let me just double check. I did not get my normal notification that I am live. Might be because it's still up and running there. Hey, we are live. Excellent. So, let's see what this beer is like. Interesting color. Interesting. So, you definitely get both the raspberry and the blood orange. Though the raspberry is a little bit more muted compared to some other raspberry beers that I've had, where you can get that very strong raspberry taste that we're all kind of used to with if you've had frozen raspberries, stuff like that before. This, on the other hand, is a little bit sweeter, a little bit more muted, and then it finishes very strongly with that blood orange, and it's a fairly sweet blood orange flavor. It's definitely not a bad beer. I wish the tart carried on a little bit longer, but yeah, I mean, I like it. It's a different type of beer than I normally have, so it's kind of fun. Let's talk a quick little bit about the characters we have out here. And I think, God, I'm still on. We have Aurora Monroe back, simply because I think her pilot ability and quarantining is going to be more useful for us now that we have 3 military bases on the board. I wouldn't have minded getting an additional one, so that we're closer to that objective, but it gives us a little bit more objective flexibility than we had when we were playing with Luke Cage last time. And we're still keeping Peggy Carter, so we can pass around the cards quick, get things taken care of. And, if you remember last time, we were able to put back in 2 funded events. So let's shuffle up. And deal out our 4 cards. And one more shuffle here. Trying to shuffle those funded events to the top. Let's not forget the rule change that when now we hit a black card in here, we place a figure out. Can't cause an outbreak to happen, but hey, we can forecast. Sweet. Then let's get our pile shuffle on. I know that this is not very interesting at all, and I know that it's very bright outside today, so I don't have the best lighting in here yet. Still working on improving that. I gotta figure out something to put up behind us on the windows. If you haven't checked it out on the Nerdologist YouTube channel, my wife and I, Kristen and myself, put up a top 10 TV show list, going through our top 10, or each of our top 10 TV shows. A little bit of overlap, I won't spoil anything, but definitely consider checking it out. I considered putting it up on the Malts Meeples channel, but I want to focus on the single brand, getting that gaming brand up and running, and in particular solo board gaming. Though I do think I'm going to start doing a little bit more Dungeons and Dragons content on here. I've been doing articles called Friday Night D&D on Nerdologist.com, and I think I want to look at bringing that over, not necessarily as in place of the article, but to kind of expound upon it and work on creating something that's a little bit more fleshed out and where I can kind of talk through my ideas with that. So we've got that shuffled up. Let's get this one shuffled. I don't remember if I did last time. I hope I did, because we're just getting 2 shuffles. 1, 2, 3. So starting out here, all of these get 3. 3 on Sydney, 3 in St. Pete, and 3 in Shanghai. Here are 2s. 2 in Paris, 2 in Santiago, and 2 in Bangkok. And our 1s. Chicago, Madrid, and New York. And just a quick refresher what we can do with these 2 characters. This one, when we are taking the direct flight action, so that means we can discard a card to move to that city. Why did I just do that? I don't know why I did that. We'll give it a shuffle since I know it's on the bottom. I was distracting myself. That means if we were to discard a card, say like Baghdad, to fly to Baghdad, we don't have to actually discard Baghdad. A little bit tricky to say. And local connection, once per turn we can heal adjacent to us. So let's see who's going first. Aurora. Nope, that's Peggy. Excuse me. Peggy's going first. But before that, remember we have our bonus. 3 roadblocks anywhere on the board. I want to go here, and here, and here. So to move across a roadblock just by walking, you have to spend a card of the color city you're going to. But fortunately we have Tehran here. We can hopefully be using that to fly in most of the time. So, start with Peggy. Peggy is not military, so she cannot fly directly to there. Let's do 1, 2, 3 and 4. So we have Milan and Istanbul. So Istanbul gets one of those, that's awesome. Flip 2, we have Manila and Bogota. Let me adjust these things back. I had a feeling I was going to forget that. So last time, if you remember, we got completely wrecked by yellow. This time, we'll see what happens. We are now one blue card away from being able to cure blue, which would be great. Use an action to cure anywhere on the board, or quarantine anywhere on the board. One there. So we can show Essen to fly to Essen for 2, walk to St. Pete for 3, and clear one off there for 4. That then gets us to the point where we have nothing ready to outbreak. We got Lagos and Delhi. It's fairly impressive. We still have Riyadh in the code of disease that has yet to get a fallen figure in it. So that's fairly weird. Ho Chi Minh City, it's a red, and London gets a blue. So I think I'm going to pass over these 2 blue cards just to get them set up. That takes us to 8 cards, so we have to discard 1. Delhi is fine to discard. This is Baghdad. And then we have to remember now, I have to remember now, we have these different upgrades that we can place on cards, including this one, which is quite handy, allows us to discard a card. Discard that card to not take exposure or a scar when we're there. But we spent 2 actions. 3. Part of me wants to head down here towards Sydney. Maybe? It's one of those times where I have that extra action, but I'm not really sure how useful it is going to be for me. Because I basically have to commit going one direction or another. I'd love to get some more military bases built, but I got nothing for that, so I think I'll head there. Madrid, so we got the blue card we need to finish that, and Mexico City. We have to be getting really close to an epidemic, I would think, at this point. So Madrid, I mean, I can fly to Paris for 1, walk to Madrid for 2. Take that one for 3 and fly to Chicago for 4. I don't think that's that great. Doesn't really help me that much. I think I'm just better taking a couple off of St. Pete. Or 1 off of St. Pete, I think. Oh, I'll take the 2 off of St. Pete. I have nothing else that's that close to outbreaking at this point, so I think I'm fine. And then let's draw our 2. Maybe I've got a blue. Hey, we got Manila and St. Petersburg. This is tough because we have to discard 2. I think it's got to be these 2. Keep our full set there. We're 2 actions away from curing that. And we'll see what we get with Peggy here. But first, you gotta flip. Calcutta. And Mexico City. So we're not doing too bad. And remember, with both red and yellow, we can cure not using an action and not in a research station. I think the other way around from what I pointed, but those are the 2 things that make those better. So we flip that. Might as well go 1, 2, 3, 4. Gotta be an epidemic. Yep. Gotta be an epidemic. So we pit our first epidemic. Pull the bottom card here. Chennai. Chennai gets 3 faded figures. Now we have a fairly large stack here, and I'll point out why I'm mentioning this in a second. It's a fairly large stack, it's still a little small to shuffle. The reason I bring it up though is I can sort, if I want, the top 6 cards, and I do want to do that simply because, so we were fine. Basically I was looking to see if we had Chennai in here. So St. Petersburg is fine, Bogota is fine, and all of these have 1 cube on them. So we can put them back in any order. And then we draw our 2. St. Petersburg gets 1, and Bogota gets 1. And that's it. That was a very uneventful and might have been a waste of this forecast, but I always feel like better use it than sit on it and never use it. And also using it this early means that we're holding off a potential issue that could be happening. Especially since now I can quarantine Chennai for 1, fly back here for 2, cure blue for 3, and Manila and Shanghai. Can now we just fly straight to Shanghai. Gonna fly to Shanghai. The reason I'm doing that is Manila's not a bad spot to build that military base. Would give us some nice coverage, and we need to get military bases in Asia, the Pacific Rim, and South America to be able to complete that objective. Now we don't have to complete that objective. We could do it with having 7 quarantines on the board, all 3 diseases cured, and 1 of them eradicated, but it's good not to completely ignore 1, especially in this situation. We have to do curing 3 diseases. We got the hardest one out of the way already. But, yeah, I was slightly worried this would happen. So now, everything I looked at doesn't matter, because we now have Atlanta here. And this is why I was slightly worried about. And it's tricky too, because I think I've lost track of what's what at this point, but we'll see. See if I've lost track. Bogota. And is this Atlanta? Yes, it is. So we get our first outbreak. Grab our level 1 sticker. We're going to have to deal with Atlanta fast because we don't want Atlanta going downhill so much so that we lose our base here. We can start in any of the research stations, but it's useful. Atlanta's a useful one to start in as we have it set up now. So knowing that, I'm trying to see what my best options are for Peggy here. Also, we know that St. Petersburg will be the next card up, because I could discard Istanbul, not super useful, but I could discard Moscow for 1, fly into Moscow, go to Tehran for 2, fly here for 3, and because blue is cured, I can move them all for 4. That's the best bet I have at this point. I'm not worried about another epidemic, but it's good to deal with these situations while you can. We're at 7 cards here. Need 1 more yellow card. We'll be able to cure yellow, which won't be bad because yellow might be easy to eradicate, though I wouldn't mind doing that with blue. So let's see what we flip. We know the first one's St. Petersburg. And the next one is Manila. And so my plan had been to build that military base in Manila, which still wouldn't be a bad idea, but now we're only 1 red card short. It seems more worth it to try and cure red quickly. So, seeing what looks like a good option here, because I could trade for Hong Kong by moving down here, but I don't know that I need to do that right now. I could fly to Tehran, could fly to Atlanta, Bogota is an issue, so I could fly to Atlanta for 1, walk to Miami for 2, go to Bogota for 3, and cure 1 off of that, but I think I like the idea of I'll just quarantine that for now. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy enough. Got Osaka, got Joburg. So, as a reminder, Peggy Carter can pass out any card with her ability. She cannot take in Johannesburg without one of them being in Johannesburg. Won't be extremely difficult, but hopefully we can just avoid that. So 1. Before that, I always forget to do the Shanghai. It's a red. Chicago gets a blue. So 1 to pass this card. Since the curing red no longer takes an action and does not have to be done in a research station, it can happen immediately. So we're still only at 1 action. We can cure here for 2. Then go 3 and 4. So we're starting to take care of blue in case we want to eradicate that. We have 2 of our diseases cured, and we have 3 of 7 quarantines out, or 3 of 6 military bases built. Let's draw. Ooh. That is actually the best card possible to draw. I mean, it's not necessarily ideal to draw these back to back, But Algiers states it can be used as a card of any color, which means yellow has now been cured as well. So we've completed our main objective at this point. So we've completed one out of the 3 objectives we needed to do. We have a grenade belt, which is really nice since we just had a figure show up in Tehran. You can just go straight there and grenade it. But then let's flip here. Ho Chi Minh City and Chennai. Chennai loses quarantine marker. So that was Peggy's turn. That means we're back to Aurora. Absolutely have to do that for 1, 2, 3, 4. We're really close to eradicating red as well. We have 3 left in red. I don't know that we'll be able to take care of everything. We have Karachi and Atlanta. So Karachi gains a faded figure. So right now we can really try and race towards the end. So we flip here. New York City gets a blue. And London gets a blue cube. How we could race towards the end is we have 3 red cities left that have cubes on them. We have 3 yellow cities left that have cubes on them. So we could focus on dealing with either of those for eradication while trying to spam out quarantine markers. Since you need 7 on the board at once, we have Sydney, we have 3 of them out there still. So we could try doing that. I think that might be the plan. So we'll go 1 by curing adjacent. We'll quarantine Miami for 2. Go to Bogota for 3. And cure everything off of Bogota for 4. This then allows us, we are 1 short there. Hopefully we can get there. We're 3 short on quarantines. 1 quiet night and Miami. So I could just 1 quiet night it right now and not have to worry about it. However, next time we go up infection rate, we will be hitting 3. So it's better to flip, I think, Kolkata and of course Mexico City. So we have that one back, but we're getting close. And that's that turn. We're back to Aurora Monroe. Let's see. So I could show Atlanta to fly to Atlanta. I could show Johannesburg to fly to Johannesburg. I think I might show... I could continue dealing with red. I could cure these 2, leaving only that one left in red. But we don't have any great way to quickly get to red. I do want to quarantine as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quarantine London. Let's quarantine Paris for 1 action. Two, 3, 4. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 quarantines in play. And we have 2 spots with red cubes. Let's see what we draw here. Epidemic, of course. And San Francisco. So we pull the bottom card. Delhi. That's frustrating. Because now Delhi is going to outbreak. There. 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 Delhi goes up, so that moves up there, moves there. Delhi is a 1. So this is why I hadn't used One Quiet Night before. Because I'm going to use it right now, so we don't have to draw the 3 cards. Since we're still 6 here, plus we're almost to the point where we've eradicated 1. So it is Peggy Carter's turn. She can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Yellow has been eradicated. Now, it'd be awesome to have one more action. However, we do not have one more action at this point, so nothing we can do about this. I'm going to be drawing 2 from here. Seoul and London. Don't really matter. It's these 3. Bogota. Nothing happens, including this going away, because this has been eradicated. Delhi. That's what I was not wanting to happen. That's really bad, in fact. So what's happening with that? Delhi is going up to 2. We go to outbreak 3. It's going to cause Calcutta to outbreak, which will take it up to level 1. Which will move that up there. And this should have gone, first time Delhi outbreak, which is going to cause Chennai to outbreak, which is going to cause us to go up to level 5. And so now we have to place figures accordingly. Karachi, Tehran, Mumbai, and then here's the annoying part. Bangkok, Hong Kong, and Jakarta. But it's not just that they have a faded figure on them now. It's that they are faded themselves. So we've now increased the number of faded cities that we have on the board to the point where we can start running out of faded figures. Good luck with this one. Okay, phew. New York. So that was really annoying because we had those 3 outbreaks, but more so for the fact that these 3 are now faded. However, we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quarantine markers on the board. So all I have to do to end the game is quarantine here 1, move here for 2, and quarantine here for 3. So we've eradicated a disease, and we have 7... Oh no, I misread that one. That's not 7 faded cities that are quarantined. Oof. It's just became a whole lot harder, and we really want to get those military bases in play fast. Unfortunately, none of these are useful for that. Let's see. Then I wouldn't want to quarantine there. I would want to still have quarantine there. For 1. That is rough. I misread that. Yeah, I definitely want to have placed it on Chennai since Delhi's in there. Karachi is there. So 2, 3, 4. The reason I'm doing that is it just at least slows down any potential outbreaks that happen, which is useful. Taipei and Montreal. So we still have nothing in South America to go there. Taipei or Seoul, so we can build there, and we can build here. So we're set over here. Still don't have anything for South America. Flipping 3. Manila loses quarantine. Actually not bad. Ho Chi Minh City gains a red cube. And Chennai loses its quarantine. Whew. So, let's see what we have here. 1 for Tehran. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna fly to Tehran. Do I fly? Yeah. This is tough. That's annoying to have misread that card. It was stupid on my behalf. I have nothing I can do in South America to help. Fly to Tehran. Go to Shanghai for 2. Walk to Taipei walk to Seoul for 3. And build the military base for 4. That would get us a whole bunch closer there. Fly Tehran for 1. Quarantine Tehran for 2. I think I'm going to do that. Fly to Tehran for 1. Because I do know Tehran is in this deck. And then I'm going to come here, take care of that. Must be gone from somewhere. Let's see what we draw. Sydney, okay, and Mumbai. Mumbai has 2 on it, so it gets a 3rd. So Mexico City means no cube. Chicago gains a blue cube. Atlanta gains a blue cube. So we have 1, 2. I mean, I think I got to quarantine Chennai again for 1. I can fly straight to Taipei without spending that card. Probably makes sense. For 2, build for 3 using Taipei, and fly where do I want to end my turn, basically? Probably fly to Montreal for 4. Reason for that is I'm closer. We have Khartoum. Doesn't do any good because it's right there. We have New York. It's fine. Let's flip here. St. Petersburg gets a blue. Shanghai, where I'm at, gains a red back. And London gains a blue. That's why I kind of flew over there. Helps me set up. So, what do? Do I 1, 2, 3. Part of me thinks I should deal with London and New York right now. So I'm going to do that. 1, 2, 3, and I just have taken the one off at Shanghai, I guess, for 4. Jakarta and Cairo. So, at least no, that might be it. So Calcutta, because we can string these together, and I'll simply put up the numbers. Calcutta goes there, causing Chennai to lose it, Delhi, and Mumbai. So Delhi is a 3, and Mumbai becomes a 1. So we have lost 2 games in a row, and it is starting to look rough over there. It was unfortunate that it wasn't bumping up against this side of things, because we have our barricade set up. We didn't have this side barricaded off, which, yeah, honestly it was because I misread that one card. It's, if I had remembered that I needed 7 Fated Cities, I probably would have been playing it a little bit differently. I was trying to bum rush the end, using up extra actions over there to quarantine stuff that I knew wasn't going to be an issue. I even did that over here. That probably wouldn't, I'm not sure that would have necessarily made a difference, but I might have been able to fly into Tehran, quarantine, fly out, and that might have made a difference in the long run. But it's just, since there's no spot, I mean quite a large area here, that there's anything we can do about it. So unfortunately, we don't get this bonus. That's gone. Fortunately, that's only for this month. We are moving on to July. But fortunately, today's date 6/12, we have Rome Monroe and Peggy Carter Loss. Our funding for the start of July is going to be 4, plus we get our 2 upgrades. So let's quickly go over our funding first. Resilient population, remove a card from that pile, that would have been nice. Local initiative, 2 quarantine markers on the board. Adding a military base for free. Remove 2 disease cubes for anywhere. 2 extra actions. Move anywhere. I don't think the flexible aid where you're discarding multiple cities is that useful. Don't think airlift is necessarily extremely useful, though it's starting to become more useful because we can't fly directly into the places with the yellow numbers. Borrowed time, 2 extra actions, could be great. Military base would be very strong. I think I'm going to go with that one as one of the options. Don't need any more research stations. Don't need to swap assignments. I've never put that one to good use. Might be worth it. Local initiative for the quarantine markers could be very useful. Or the 2 extra actions. Or the resilient population. Or the remote treatment. Remote treatment is less useful, I think, out of all of those. Removing 2 disease cubes from anywhere on the board. We had yellow eradicated, red was almost gone, and blue, well, it was iffy for a little bit. It was decently under control. So let's go with 2 extra actions is really strong at times, though I don't know that it would have made a difference in this game. Local initiative is good. Quarantine. Removing resilient population. Resilient population, I think, is the one I'm going to go with. And the reason I'm going with that is it's very strong to be able to remove one of these cards. By removing one of those, and no guarantee we're going to hit it, but by removing one of those, it does set up the opportunity that we can break up some of these chains, like being able to remove Delhi from there and keeping Delhi under a constant quarantine would have kept stuff from building up as much. And yeah, like once Delhi hit 3, that was rough. That area just got nailed. So we could make yellow even easier to cure, require one less card, increase a hand limit. Well, I do know one of the things I want to do. And that's, I want to finish off that quarantine wall. You can do up to 3. We will do up to 3. Cut it off there. Cut it off there. And cut it off there. So the main reason for wanting to do that is that then allows us to, this side of the board can go to hell a little bit more. Obviously we want to try and keep it under control still, but it means that we're not going to have the spillover of the faded that way into the world. The only way it can come is this way. It allows us some more flexibility or the ability to wait a little bit longer in certain situations. Now, interesting one could be to put a permanent military base in Taipei. I'm leaning towards that simply because that means we have Asia and South America left for permanent military bases before that one is completed. And just being able to do that one fast, now that I've correctly read that quarantine one, I still can't believe I did that. Well, I can. There is a lot to remember in this game, and it changes a lot. And I mean, I hadn't played for a week. Now that's not that long in terms of things, but it does make a difference in terms of remembering everything. Sometimes you forget the various things are coming up, or how various cards work, and you have to refresh yourself. And had I been able to get in here, had there been a safe haven somewhere in the middle there, I might have been able to get everything quarantined. But that wasn't the case, and take the loss. That's what happens sometimes. But with that, I will see you again, I believe, tomorrow will be my plan. Play the first game of July. No win bonus, but extra funding, so hopefully that will do the trick, and hopefully we can get a win in there so I don't end up losing 4 times and having to open box 8. With that, bottoms up. See you next time.